For over a decade, the DC Universe on screen has been a story of creative resets, fractured timelines, and a real struggle to move beyond the shadows of its most famous heroes. We've seen gods and monsters, titans of justice clashing in the rain, and infinite crises that promise to change everything, only to lead right back to another reboot. The foundation feels cracked, and the path forward is anything but certain. As James Gunn and Peter Safran build their new DCU, they have a golden opportunity to learn from the past and build something that actually lasts. But the answer isn't a god from a dying world or another billionaire scarred into a one-man war. We've had those. And while they're absolutely essential pillars, they can't be the entire temple. To build a true legacy, what the DCU needs isn't just more power, it's a leader who grew up in the trenches, who evolved from a sidekick into a hero in his own right. The DCU doesn't just need a new hero, it needs a new kind of hero. The DCU needs Nightwing, and I'm convinced there's only one actor today who can perfectly bring his incredible journey to the big screen. So what was the core problem with the old DC movie universe? When you boil it down, it was an inability to show real, meaningful growth. Its heroes were often static, defined by one tragedy or one power. They were symbols, sure, but they were rarely allowed to be the people who changed. And this is where Nightwing, Dick Grayson, becomes not just a cool idea, but an essential one. Nightwing's entire story is about growth. He's the living embodiment of legacy in the DC universe, the ultimate proof that you can honor your past without being trapped by it. He started his journey in the shadow of the Bat, the very first Robin, a splash of color in a world of gothic darkness. But unlike his mentor, Dick Grayson refused to let that darkness swallow him whole. He took the skills, the discipline, and yes, the trauma of his past and forged something new, something hopeful. The journey from sidekick to solo hero is the exact narrative spine the DCU desperately needs. He's the bridge between generations, a character who purposely moves from shadow into light. He manages to balance the grim reality of a world that needs Batman with an aspirational hope that defines Superman, creating a tonal middle ground that DCU films have always struggled to find. Where Bruce Wayne is a cautionary tale, Dick Grayson is an inspirational one. He proves the cycle of trauma can be broken, that a student can learn from his master's lessons and still choose a different, better path. He took Batman's war on crime and injected it with empathy, optimism, and a deep belief in others. And this isn't just about a new tone, it's about building a connected world. Nightwing is an ultimate connector. He's the heart of the Bat family, the big brother to guys like Jason Todd and Damian Wayne, but his reach goes so much further than Gotham. He was a founding member and definitive leader of the Teen Titans, guiding a team of young heroes as they found their own way. In the comics, he's even stepped up to lead the Justice League itself, taking center stage during massive events like Dark Crisis, when the world's biggest heroes were gone. He's the link between the street-level grit of Gotham and the cosmic scale of the Justice League. He's a mentor to the next generation, including Superman's own son, Jonathan Kent. He is respected by everyone, from the godlike Clark Kent to the rebellious Jason Todd. Placing him at the center of the DCU gives the universe an instant sense of history, connection, and forward momentum. He doesn't just join teams, he builds them. He creates family out of strays and soldiers, and that's the power the DCU needs more than super speed or flight. The old DCU was often criticized, and fairly so, for being just relentlessly grim. The colors were muted, the heroes were miserable, and hope was treated like a silly, childish idea. Nightwing is the perfect antidote to all of that. He's a hero who is defined by his optimism. And this isn't the blind optimism of someone who hasn't seen how ugly the world can be. It's the resilient hope of a man who has seen absolute worst of it all and chooses to be a light anyways. When he left Gotham, he didn't just move to another big city. He went to the corrupt, forgotten city of Bloodhaven and made it his mission. And there, he isn't just a vigilante swooping in at night. He's part of the community, working to fix a broken system from the inside. Dick Grayson's life has been a rich tapestry of experiences. A circus acrobat, a police officer, a leader, a spy, making him one of DC's most versatile and relatable characters. He fights systemic corruption with the same fire he uses against supervillains, inspiring regular people to believe in their home and in themselves. The mix of high-flying acrobatics and grounded real-world heroism is a goldmine for storytelling. It lets the DCU explore complex themes without forgetting that it's a superhero story. With Nightwing, you can get breathtaking fight sequences one minute and a genuinely touching story about community action the next. He's proof that a hero can be charming, emotionally intelligent, and a world-class fighter all at once. He's the hero who smiles not because he's naive, but because he knows that inspiring hope is just as important as throwing a punch. It's this unique blend of legacy, leadership, and optimism that makes him such a fan favorite. Now that I've laid out why he's the key, let's go to the next crucial piece of the puzzle. But before I do, I want to hear from you. What is it about Nightwing that makes him one of your favorites? Let me know down in the comments. Embodying this complex journey requires a rare kind of talent. You need an actor who can deliver that easy charisma and confident leadership, but also show the deep well of trauma that still fuels him. Someone with the raw physicality to be believable as one of DC's greatest acrobats, but also the subtlety to show the warmth that makes people follow him. Now, fan casts have been flying around for years with great choices like Dylan O'Brien and Wolfgang Novogratz, often topping the list. But I'm going to make a case for an actor who has become a global star and, I believe, has every single tool needed for the job. Timothée Chalamet. Okay, hold on. Before you dismiss this as just picking the it guy of the moment, let's actually break it down because his name does come up in these discussions for a reason. His performance as Paul Atreides in Dune is all the proof you need that he can anchor a massive universe-spanning saga. He perfectly captured Paul's journey from a privileged kid to a hardened, reluctant leader in a galactic rebellion. He carries the weight of the prophecy and the burden of command with a quiet intensity. That's perfect for a character who has spent his whole life in the shadow of a legend. That is Dick Grayson's story. And let's be real, the guy is practically built for it. He has the lean, graceful physicality that's tailor-made for Nightwing's signature, fluid fighting style. With the right training, he could absolutely sell the acrobatic, almost dance-like combat that makes Nightwing so different from other heroes. But it's not just about the action. In movies like Little Women and The King, Chalamet has shown a powerful ability to portray deep emotional conflict and a charming vulnerability. He can be the charismatic heart of a group while still showing you the cracks in his armor. That duality is Dick Grayson. He's the quippy hero on the surface, but underneath he's still the orphan who watched his parents die and the young man who had to fight for his own identity against the overwhelming force of Batman. Chalamet has the range to play both sides of that coin. He can deliver a witty one-liner with a smirk, lead the Titans into battle with total resolve, and then, in a quiet moment, show us the lingering pain he carries. While some might question if he could handle the character's core emotion, his filmography proves he can. His casting wouldn't just bring star power, it would send a clear signal that the new DCU is serious about telling deep, character-driven stories. Imagine Chalamet's Nightwing standing with a new generation of heroes, not as their commander, but as their brother, the one they trust most. He's the one they turn to when Batman is too rigid and Superman is too far away. He gets them. Chalamet has built a career playing complex young men forced to grow up way too fast. That is the definitive story of Dick Grayson. The new DCU has a rare shot to build a universe that both honors its icons and paves the way for the future. And the key to that future isn't another reboot or another crisis, it's a character who represents evolution. Dick Grayson is the promise of the DC universe fulfilled. The idea that even from the darkest of beginnings, a hero can rise and find his own light. He's the legacy character who became his own legend, the sidekick who became a master, and the optimist who fights for a better world precisely because he's seen the worst of it. By putting Nightwing in a central role, the DCU gains a leader, a mentor, and a heart. And by casting an actor with the global appeal and proven range of Timothée Chalamet, they'd get a performer who can carry not just the movie, but an entire generation of heroes. This isn't just about giving a fan favorite his moment, it's about making a smart, strategic choice to build a stronger, more hopeful cinematic universe that can last for years to come. But that's my take. Do you think Nightwing is the future of the DCU, and who's your dream pick to play Dick Grayson? Let me know in the comments below. If you like DC Comics and you love talking about the current DCU, please subscribe to my channel as I do lots of DC content. And be sure to hit that like button because it helps a really small page like mine. And like always, let's keep the conversation going after the video ends. Bye.